That's properties. They're fairly basic. Aspects. Aspects are really exciting. These are a higher level than properties, and they wrap up a number of properties. Like, for example, double import here is just a bunch of single property fields, but also methods. So before it's object-oriented, so it's actually functionality. You can see over here, this currently has versionable selected. I'm just adding double import. That versionable doesn't just add a list of minor versions and comments for each version. It adds the whole functionality to make versioning work behind it. So we're using aspects. We've started the business development work on defining a cal aspect in Alfresco that can be applied to any piece of content regardless of where it's stored across the entire repository. Finally, there are things called rules. And rules are kind of like really simple automated workflows that don't require anybody to do anything. You can have rules to transform documents from one type to another behind the scenes when they go into a folder. They can automatically pull out metadata. They can change the state from one thing to another. They can fire off notifications. They can move documents around, move content around, copy content. So rules are a very powerful feature, and they fire as soon as you decide they're going to fire, normally on dropping something in a folder. So when we get to the Moodle end, and I just say I'm going to upload to this folder, we're not just uploading to a folder, we're uploading to a folder and having some rules fire off in the background that the Moodle user doesn't need to be aware of at all. You can set up in advance, and that's really powerful. So in Moodle we're going to be working on a little course about Alfresco. And I'm going to have a couple of folders here, one for our source materials, our Word docs and text and so on, and the other one for, we want to create PDFs automatically so that we can distribute, print, show those. I'm going to set up a rule to do that, so we can create a print version. I give it a name, I decide when it's going to run, so when new items come into the folder or they're updated, so every time you edit your Word doc, bang, it's going to bang out another PDF for you automatically. Just for files, not folders. And what do we want to do? There's a bunch of stuff we can do, but we're going to transform and copy the content from to a PDF, and we're going to put it. We could put it in one of our sites. We're going to put it in the repository in the folder we've just created for our distribution. And that's pretty much it. We can. Oh, that's right. I decided at the last minute I'd also send myself an email in the same rule. So it's also going to send me an email, let me know that's happened. You just give it a title and you can type in a message, or you can use a template. I'll tell you a slightly funny story about this after. Okay, and then you can run the rule in the background. You can have it go all the way down your folder tree, so you can say all this faculty does this rule and all this faculty does a different rule, etc. And there you go, you've got your rule. You can run it to pick up old material, just like you would if you just defined a rule in Gmail. You know, you can say, oh, by the way, pick up all my 100 ones I've already got. Or it just starts as soon as the next thing happens. So I'm just going to drag and drop a piece of content up to Alfresco there, into my source materials. You can see we've got rules on the source materials, and there it is. There's the automatically created PDF. It's just banged it out with that rule there. Okay, so that's really exciting, I think. That's properties, basic metadata, aspects, collections of metadata and methods to do cool stuff under the hood, and rules, ways of making it all happen automatically in folders. And when you've got that behind the scenes, you don't need to do a lot through the Moodle end. You just need to get your educators to drop it in the right folder and magic happens, which is what we want. Lastly, I just wanted to show you very briefly what you would look at perhaps as an administrator setting some of this stuff up. So your admin console is just another part of the web app. There's no complicated plugins to set up or anything, and you can do a bunch of things here. Choosing your searches, your search service. There's a couple of options there depending upon how large you are, and also you can set up groups and subgroups and sub-subgroups. Then normally again you'll be using your LDAP or so on. Oh God. Great. That's finished, which is great. But we want to watch the other one. You may be asking yourself the question, why isn't everybody already using this from Moodle? And Alfresco is great, Moodle's great, the integration wasn't great. It was a very basic proof of concept. So what we've got here is, oh yeah, that's what happened when I selected my PDF template. I'd selected one in the wrong language, so I got this lovely email telling me something I couldn't understand. But I looked at Memo a couple of hours after I recorded this, and I had this lovely Spanish thing in there, so don't do that. So we created Andresco, which is an open source product, or an open source integration between Moodle and Alfresco to bring this power up to Moodle. Because we had a chance to create something brand new after the repository API had been released, we could really design it the way we wanted to. So rather than building an integration, we decided we wanted to build a better Moodle, and we used simple but powerful as our design map. And this is where we found the biggest problem with content repositories in the past had been people had to think whether they were using the repository or not. Now, if your educator is thinking about where they should be uploading their content because they might be slowing Moodle down by 1% if they put it in the wrong place, then they're not thinking about optimising engaging content for their teaching and learning. So, really important. I don't think we're going to get 8 minutes in, but we'll see how we go.
Speed it up twice again.
You can do that through here. All right. So we've done a lot of work on this already, but it's a Google Code project. If you're interested, get online, help out. We look at the settings page. You can have multiple repositories. You can click across to. You can set up several repositories. You can set up your same repository several times, starting node and so on. So you can have one repository on this folder and another one on this folder in your same one. So you can have different repositories. And we've been looking at, in fact, making that even better by having you automatically start in a matching course folder that matches where you are in the hierarchy in Moodle. So it's effectively mapping one-to-one between Moodle and Alfresco at the back end. You've got options for your content access methods, copy or link. You've got options for versioning. With 2.3, we have now copy, link, and the ability to create a symbolic link, which will be excellent. All right, we use the repository API, of course, which means it's available anywhere. So any number of those things that you've defined, you can have your images somewhere and your videos somewhere else and whatever, they're all available from anywhere. So that's from all your drop-downs, all your major resource tools, also from your HTML editor. You basically just go in, you pick whichever repository it is you want, find a piece of content, plug it in, and away you go. Now, when linking via Andresco, we use, as far as possible, the metadata in Alfresco to auto-populate meanings fields. So we've adjusted a couple of the more common forms to make to move the file selection to the top, to make this more intuitive. So you can see that there. So if we go in here, we find that we can navigate up and down fairly easily. We can have a look at the metadata that gets exposed from Alfresco into Moodle to see if it's what we want. If it is what we want, we go, yeah, we'll have that one, and bang, we get the name and description coming across in there, so we just hit select. So not a lot of work to do, in fact, less work than you do normally. Of course, if you're not navigating around and you want to search across the whole repository, like you have a big repository, so we'll have a look at, we'll go to the repository we looked at before. You can see it's got this massive structure, and when you not sure where to go, you can obviously just do a search and pull out stuff. And as I say, we're very excited that the new search results interfaces are in Moodle 2.3, because that was one of the challenges we were having in making it really intuitive. Okay, let's say content isn't in the repository to find. We want to upload something new. We want people to be embedded where they are in Moodle. So they're going to add something, file URL, doesn't matter, it's a repository API, right? Pick a link, go to wherever they are. As I say, we're looking at dropping them straight into the folder that equates to their course, and bang, hit the upload file button. Go out and choose your file. We pre-populate as much metadata as possible. So we'll pull out the title from the file name, pull out version comments. You can put extra institution-specific metadata in there, generally type and other things if you need them. But a whole lot of other stuff, like what course is it, what all the stuff about structure has already come through from the Moodle course. Okay. And I think we had a very clear goal with the upload to make it as simple as possible, as simple as a Moodle file upload, and I think a standard Moodle upload, and I think we've succeeded. We can go back into Alfresco and have a look at what happened. There it is. You can see it's in there, and whatever was related to the folder that it's in will have happened to it. Files, folders, properties, aspects. It would get whatever we've got set up there. All right. Version comment goes in versioning as well. So that's automatic. Now we could add another version in here, but of course the whole goal is simple but powerful from Moodle, right? We don't want people having to go in here. So if you're in Moodle and you're just browsing around looking for stuff that you uploaded last week and you've got a new version of it, and we'll imagine a week's passed since we did the last one, we want our content layer, we've just gone and found that, we can new version it straight through the Moodle interface, and that will just upload the new version within the same thing. Even cleverer though is if we upload something with the same name, what happens right now is it's going to new version it and link it together. So that's the simple but powerful thing that we're after. The very last point is workflow. Now, there's actually nothing in here that you need to do about workflow. You associate workflow to a folder in Alfresco via a rule, like we saw before, and it just fires. You do one of those simple uploads that we did, it goes in and the workflow happens. We do have, though, a more complex scenario in the works for Andresco that I'd like to let you know about to whet your appetite. We've got a scenario here. Instructor finishes their unit outline and they want to upload it into their course. But before they can do that, they've got to have it signed off, then they need to convert it to a PDF, and then they want to link it into topic 1 of their Moodle. So they've got to email back and forth and muck around. With Alfresco behind the scenes, however, the instructor can just go to their Moodle course, upload their item, so they play straight into their Alfresco folder, so they just bang, there it goes. And our tweak is to recognise the document's gone into workflow, hide it, put it in workflow label, and then fire off the workflow and poll using the Moodle cron to find out when it's gone live, and then bring it back out live. So on the other side of things, you've got on the Alfresco side, in the source materials folder they've just dropped it into, we already saw we had one rule in there, the convert to PDF. That's going to run, but also we've got another rule we can bring in a workflow. So I'll just skip towards the end because I know I'm running out of time. Workflow. We're going to add a quick workflow, a rule to do workflow. Very good. And the workflows are these exciting graphical things that come out of activity, which is BPN2. So we can have it so that it goes in, it either gets rejected to redraft state, approved to transform to PDF, email the lecturer, tell them it's there, plus copy it there, replace the hidden link and make it visible. So if you think about that, that is as simple as it gets. The lecturer has done less work than they would otherwise have done, and they've given the institution the institutional benefits. So that I think is the end of the video, and right on 2:25. Take my message. Your institutional, your LCMS can now be your enterprise content management server. It's in production. People love it, and come and grab hold of see if you can win a LSC rugged enterprise content management on a stick version of Alfresco at the booth.
Excellent, Mike. You can breathe in now.